part 2 of the video where I share my drift tunes, because last video was, well, it was getting too big, so I cut it up into little pieces. So let's just hop right into it. Like last video, I'll probably say it again in this one. If you have any thoughts on the tune, think some things will work better or whatever, please share your thoughts and let me know in the comments. I'll look at it, and I'm curious to see if there might be improvements, or if I'm wrong on some points of the settings. Let's find the best tune. So without further ado, let's hop into the tunes. So here we are with the next car, my RX-7. Really love it. Has drift heritage. Have the Red Bull FD livery on there, but it was a tricky car at the beginning. Well, also what I found out is that it's a bit easier now to sit behind the car in third person with the wheel. I don't know how other people experience it, but in most games, being third person makes me feel disconnected to the car, since you're sitting with a wheel, and cockpit view or hood view is just more, I don't know, feels more connected. But in terms of drifting and tandems, you have way more overview of who's next to you, instead of you being on the front of the car, because then you cannot see where the other player is at. And this way you can really overlook the tandems and really close in and place your car in the right place. So that's why I mainly play GT Sport and Assetto in third person. If I'm going racing, then I'm switching the camera to a different position. But for drifting, if you do tandems, it's just better. As you can see, this car now also holds great amounts of angle. Maybe what people that drive this car more is that you can see that the gears are very, very short. Doesn't have that much horsepower, but I noticed that the gears in the original MX-5, I wanted to say, the gears in the original RX-7 are a bit weird. They're very long, so that means that you can reach really high speeds on the tires if you go like this flat out, which is kind of a problem, because the faster your tires go in comparison with the actual speed you're going, the higher the speed is, the slippier, the more slidey, just work my way around it, it gets. So you go sideways, and if you're like going like 70 kilometers an hour, we're in Holland here, we work with kilometers, so sorry for everyone that's looking for the miles. Let's say you go 70 kilometers an hour, and your tires in that gear can reach rev banging up to 100, then your car will be way more stable, instead of the car is going like, I don't know, 200 on the wheels. And the original gearbox of the RX-7 is just very long, and then you're drifting in second gear, and well, it was a bit weird. So I just decided to change the gearbox so it felt more like a normal car, or at least I can use third gear, maybe even fourth. I like third gear for drifting. Also, the handbrake now works a lot better, because it used to over-rotate you in an instant, like sliding, nothing happens, it grips up and bam, the car was gone. Also, I noticed that if you use the handbrake, then if you combine it with the foot brake, it kind of makes the car more stable, I'm thinking. Door Hunting is getting it. Just curious if he's on a wheel or not. Maybe most of the time you can see it from the front wheels, but I'm not close enough. If you see the front wheels a bit twitching, like left, right, like, then you know he's on a controller. But you can see on the wheel, but people are often more smooth with the front wheels. But yeah, this is, I mean, Manjis, these were so scary at the beginning, especially with this car, but now it just works. Handbrake, foot brake a little bit. Forward, come on. There's still a thing with GT, as long as you're really sliding, then it's like you're on ice. So if you pull the handbrake in Assetto or like real life, you pull the handbrake, you're still gripping on your front wheel, so you tend to slide inwards a bit. You cannot slide sideways and keep going sideways unless you give a lot amount of counter steer. You can like crab walk / slide it. But in GT you pull the handbrake and you start going straight the direction you were going. It really starts to slide, and it's really hard to pull the car inwards. So if you do it like on the entry there, you really need to mash the throttle and go in very early compared to Assetto, because that was my reference point at the beginning. Like, let's rip it here on the handbrake, but then I started overshooting corners every damn time. And if you go a little bit more early and then fully on the gas to put the car in a forwards momentum, or at least where your car is pointing at, then it's good. Here we go, we'll go with the four-wheel drive. Yeah, he's doing pretty decent, at least at the Mandi's. But then here, this is four-wheel drive for you. Just sliding your front wheels, having no grip, and slide to the outside of the corner, and really have to control the throttle to make it work. Okay, he waits for me, which I appreciate, but he just entered way too fast. It's not necessarily a four-wheel drive problem, but he's having so much trouble keeping on the inside of the track without going outside, because your front wheels are spinning, so you're not getting any grip. So I should just share this setup and then go for the last car of this video. I'm gonna save the rest for later. Finish this corner. Bam. So yeah, let's head back to the setup. So here we are on the setup. It's, I think, slightly upgraded. Don't know if you can reach that in level 1. But the power is like 386 brake horsepower, which converts, if you have kilowatts, just go for the power ratio or the 132%. Take all the weight out. I like having lightweight cars to drift with. So I should retune maybe the Genesis, take some weight out, maybe reduce some camber or add some camber on the rear tires. But, well, if I find a better upgrade, that will be in the next video. But if you like it the way it is now, then go for it. Setups are all a matter of preference. Some people like it, some people don't. If it works for you, then good. If it doesn't work, well, you have different preferences. It's not necessarily that the setups are shit. As you can see, I'm just drifting fine with them. So, oh, and if you really like or dislike a setup that I'm doing in this video, please let me know in the comments. Because then I also know which one is good on average for most people or which one is bad. And please be constructive with your criticism. You can, shit, sucks. Okay, but why? What was it that made it suck for you or don't like it? So then we can get into a decent conversation and find out what is wrong with the tune or car and grow on from there. I mean, we're all in it to help each other, at least that's my opinion. So as you can see, if you can't see, I'll read it up. 1.75, 1.85 at the rear, 7 and 5. It's all the same again with the damping ratio on the compression and rebound. 1 click up and 2 clicks up at the back. It's just my average drifting setting and it kind of works. Some cars sometimes need a little more because they're a little bit boaty at the beginning, so they really need to be beefed up. But 2.5 point camber in the rear, 1.1, sorry, at the front, 2.5, 1.1 in the rear. Toe angle out is on 1.0. Again, that's just standard on every drift car. Put the toe angle out. If you don't know why, as you can see in the right hand corner, you see the car from above, and if you put the toe angle on out, you're basically pointing the front tires to the outside of the car, which make the natural position more outwards of the car. If you then steer in to your maximum amount, or at least we did this before the update with the angle was out. I can maybe mess around a bit with it, but well, it's fine the way it is, so I just swear by it. If you steer in a maximum angle, then that outer tire that has the most pressure on it, because the whole car is leaning to the outside, then the tire that has the most pressure on it, which is the outside, is going at maximum angle, but because you've put it out already, it will have that little bit of extra angle, because it's already standing out from neutral position. So that little bit of extra that you gain, you also gain that at the end. And since your inner tire is not doing that much, because your inner tire is struggling a bit to get that angle inwards, because it's already standing outwards in a neutral position, then, yeah, oh wait, I need to put my arrow on this. I was like, I'm gonna draw here with my arrow, but it doesn't work. So yeah, this just works, at least before the update. Maybe if I reset a tune, or just try a different car and go from complete scratch and try different techniques instead of the things I've taught myself, then maybe it can be better. Also, if you have a tune you think works better than one of the tunes I've given, please share it. I would love to try it out, I would love to compare it, and I would love to share it if it's better. I mean, like I said, it's all for finding people to drift with and make everybody be a decent drifter. Downforce levels on 25, it was from before the update. It just gives you a little bit of extra downforce on the rear wheels, so a little bit of grip, because this car really had a tendency to spin out. 25, 45, and 20 is the LSD, the diff. And then here's what's different. If you change this, all the gearing underneath changes as well. So you need to set the top one first. So you put this one on 250 kilometers an hour. Oh, that can be a problem with miles an hour if because I've not opened this. Now you can see it's like 1/4, 1/4 of the way to maximum, like 200, 400. That would be 120, the 200, because 100 kilometers an hour is roughly around 60 miles an hour. So 200 kilometers an hour would be 120. So yeah, it's roughly about 1/4 of the way. And then what I did is just, wait, what? See everything changing? When I go to this, you see all the numbers changing. That is weird. Anyway, put it on 250, and then I've tuned all the gears all the way to the right, which makes them lower. You can see the reach of the gearing where it's in, and then you see the speed you can reach in that gear. I just turned it all the way down, because it was like all the way up. And well, as you can see, it was maybe here in the middle somewhere. Then you can reach 94 kilometers an hour. You can pump that up a little bit. Let's go to 100. You can almost reach 60 miles an hour in your first gear, which not a lot of cars do. That's insane. It's like Ferrari F40 territory, which also has the very long, weird gears. I don't like that, so I turned it down. And I want to be like third gear to be around the 150 mark, roughly. Also depends on the car, but around 130, 150, 60 era, or just yeah. So I just tuned them all the way down, every single one of them, completely all the way to the right. And then I've changed the final gearing to 4. Was this on 4.000? I thought it was something with a 3. Because if you change this slider, you can also see that every individual number is even moving and even going lower, as you can see. This is too low, obvious. But I just shorten up the gearings, then I play with this bottom final gear slider just to make every gear like suit where I wanted them to be. I thought I had it on 4.3 or something for some reason. Anyways, nice rounded number. So put it on 4.0, 4000, and that works pretty good for me. So see how it works with it's your setup, driving style, and well, maybe you like the stock gearbox or you want to run the clutch, then you're just fixed to the original gearbox. So yeah, let's go to the last car of this video. So here we are in the Mustang. To be specific, it's the Justin Pollack's FD version. Created this one also myself. It's kind of 99% accurate with all the stickers and everything, brandings. Oh, it's a bit different. Still, every car feels different. They're not all like drift setup and they feel like that. So sometimes you just need to, like this. Whoa! Sorry guys. If you see this video, I'm sorry. I'll just follow their lines. No point of me ruining up some good tandems. So yeah, every car you need to adjust just a little bit. Come on guys, I'm not gonna lead. People will not be able to see you if I lead. Maybe I can go in front of the skyline. Oh no, I lost the pack, damn it. Come on. Fourth. Fourth is a bit better, more stable. Come on. Really increase the angle there to slow the car down. No. Tandems are just very hard because instead of you doing your perfect line that you're familiar with, you need to correct a lot, and that causes a lot of understeer or other little problems. I just forgot that they were just standing there and then turn around and go again. Just hope they wait. Don't go! Never done this corner in reverse. That's the first. Don't know what they were waiting for. But anyways, as you can see, this setup is also very decentable, great angle, good transitions. I think this setup can get some work done because it has some understeer still, so I don't know what it is, but this is, like I said, it was just setups from before the update, and I've just tried a lot of cars because I was like, oh my god, it just all works. And yeah, it works, but maybe this is one of the setups I think can maybe get some little extra work done in terms of the setup. So let's head back to the menu and show you the setup. So here we go on the setup. As you can see, I've even decreased the amount of power. It's now on 404 horsepower, which results in 93% of power. So it's even downgraded just because you don't want too much power. Like I said, the 400 limit is for me kind of average. Some cars, if they're very light, 350, but 400, I stay around 400. And then if the car's a little down on power, I add a little bit or take a little bit off. But that's like the benchmark I start with, because they work just good with the comfort tires. If you go with racing on race tires, the hard ones or whatever, you might need a lot more horsepower to keep them spinning. And like I said, maybe with this update I'm gonna change to comfort softs or mediums maybe, because they give a little less understeer. They're still a little bit more correct and twitchy, but because the drifting is so much better now in the game, you can really step up your game. And then if you're kind of used to the drifts, you're not making that much mistakes anymore, and you're not overcorrecting the car every time. So then you can step up to more grippy tires, because they're less forgiving but better when you get used to them, I think, because you can hold more speed, you have less understeer. Only thing is they're a bit twitchy, but if you're, like I said, if you learn to work with the wheel, don't know how it works on controller. I have one of my mates plays with comfort mediums on a controller, but it's not really my cup of tea. So here we go with the suspension setup. Fully slammed to the ground, like always. Natural frequency is on 1.6 and 1.7. Roll bars is 7 and 5. The compression is 61, 62, 91, 92, same as before. So good benchmark to start with. I have the camber on 2.5 at the front, 1.5 at the rear, and again the toe angle is on 1 to out. The toe in on the rear on 0.60. I think that's stock. I don't almost mess about with it because it just, I don't know, it suits the car. You can change it a bit, but it just increases or decreases the grip on the rear wheels in terms of trailing the front end. If you increase that number to 100 outwards, you can imagine that your outer wheels in the back, they face out. Your rear wheels do. What? Anyways, the rear wheels will face out, and then you can imagine that it wants to search for grip left and right. Just they want to pull. Then we have the LSD 2544, and the transmission is at 250. Also, like 250, 300, depends on the car, depends on the track, depends on the horsepower. But on average, about 250 between 300 is what I use for drifting, because you're not gonna go over 300 kilometers an hour to enter a drift. That's insane. I mean, if you go even 200, that's pretty damn quick. So, or like talking in real life terms. So try to keep it as real as possible. I've not done anything much really. I haven't even upgraded it, take the weight out, because it was a fun car, but not that perfect for drifting, so I left those things alone and not really spent mileage points on them. But now maybe I should. And maybe it fucks it up because it makes the car too light. I don't know, but we'll see. I think this transmission is pretty much stock, just changed the top thing, and 250 here is also 1/4 of the weight. So those were the setups. I see here some Drift Squad and Door members in the session. Shout out to them. Thanks for joining. So these were my setups. Like I said, if you have any thoughts on what is wrong with any setups, because you think it could be better, I have it done this and this, let me know. I would love to try it out and compare, because at the end of the day we're here to help each other get good setups, getting better at drifting, and overall then get better tandems, right? So I want to thank each and everyone for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!